Hello, my name is Michael Tipton, and I'm a part of the Dream High program. Today we are going to go over a Python code. What we're going to start is Python Part 2 Functions Original.rmd. Dream High likes to use R for R coding, which is pretty easy, and they offer Python as an alternative. So this is the introductory to Python, and I want to do this one because I feel as though we could both learn together. So the first thing you want to do is when you start the new code is you look down here, you see R marked down, and remember what it says here. And let's go to File, and let's go to Save As, and then put your initials or whatever you like so you know it's different. So .mt. I had already worked on it before and then I made a mistake, but now we can just redo it. So here you see change to text file. What you want to do is click that and click R Markdown because that's what it said before. So the author will be your name and the date will be the date. So Python is a programming language used in many areas of science, data analysis, and artificial intelligence. It is one of the most widely used languages in computational biology because it is readable, flexible, and has strong tools for working with data. In this course, we will eventually use Python to analyze cancer data sets, make plots, and compare results with the R versions of the activities. So, we are currently using RStudio for Dream High, but it can also use Python code inside of an R Markdown document. Python code chunks look like this, and it's in curly brackets, as you can see here. So this Python has this, and it says 1 plus 3. So this button says run code. 1 plus 3 is 4. Python is really good for math, as you can see. So if you type the name of the function by itself, the Python will tell you what that function is. So we have to import the math before using the functions because it keeps it separate so we don't have to load too much at once. So we can choose what we have to load. So if we try and run this, it tells us that it is a built-in function factorial. So let's run the function. It says you must place a set of parentheses after the function's name as shown below. So let's try it. But it looks like we have an error. When you run a function without an argument, you will receive an error. This is because the math factorial function requires an input. If we were to put a number between the parentheses, the function would run. Try that. Remove the hash mark and place a number in the parentheses. So let's try it again. So erase the hash, and as you can see, the color changed. We got 4 up there, so let's just use the familiar number 4 again. Okay, so that's 24. And just a little math fact, factorial means every number times the next number up until, that's not how you explain it. It's 1 times 2 times 3 all the way up to the number you want. So for 4 factorial is 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. 2 factorial is 1 times 2. Explicitly check that you got the result you expected. So it wants us to do the multiplication here, but we already did it up here. So, and here's the help page. We can find all functions in the math module, but it is an R code check. And W3 Schools is a very nice way to find out where Python is, what it means, and other coding languages. So it can do the square root of a number, the absolute value of a number, which is really just how far the number is from 0, and the list range. So let's find the square root of 25. This means a number times itself should be 25, and that number is 5. Now, in math or coding, the point 0 means that it's exactly 5. If you just put a 5, it can be interpreted as about 5, 5.01, but if there's a 0 after the decimal point, that is exactly 5. So let's figure out what the absolute value function does. Here, it's 5. Even though it's negative 5 is still 5 spaces from 0. And we still didn't have to use this because it knows we want the math. We already imported it, so we don't need to use the math dot every single time. Now if we use R, we'd put absolute value, but the difference is that in the curly brackets, you have to put what language you want to use. Now R does a little bit differently. It puts a 1 right here. So the similarities is that it still does the math, but it might give you an answer that looks slightly different. So let's do sequence. Sequence is basically trying to say 1 plus 2, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 2, all the way to 20 without going over. So this is the start, this is the end, and this is how many times you go up. So it looks like the highest you can go is 19. If we do Python, it does this very similar way. However, this one is a little bit quicker with just SEQ, where this wants range. Still gives us the same result though. The highest you can get is 19. So it can take 3 arguments. An argument is just an input for what you want to receive back. So 1 is an argument, 20, and 2 are also arguments. So if you do -2, this means that we have to go from 20, which is the start, and go in increments of 2 down. Negative means down to 1. And here it looks like the lowest we can get is 2. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different inputs. So let's see if we can make the logarithm of 1 through 20. Math.log. Now, logarithm is the inverse of exponentiation, my bad, which means math.log 120. That is this number. So let's try and find the square root of 144. If you remember, square root was, actually, wait, I don't even remember. But we can always just go back and check. So it says the square root is math.sqrt parentheses. But since we already imported the math, let's see if we can just do sqrt. It seems we cannot. So let's go back and do math. And that is 12. This means 12 times 12 is 144. Now let's convert the R code to Python. You have to change the language to Python as they did here, but also Python was a little bit different with this section. So we can just copy paste this part, but we still need to do the command, which is, it should be list range. The parentheses are very important and you need to pay attention to it. List range and another parenthesis. It seems as though the highest number we can get, counting by threes from 2 to 30, is 29. You have completed this module in practice. We learned that we can run both Python and R code in the same RStudio session. We learned about the Python math module and built-in Python functions. We learned what a Python function is and how it's constructed. We also learned how to get help in Python functions and the arguments they require. To make a correspondence between functions and Python and R. So, great job. We learned how to use R and Python just by using Python. And I hope you're able to retain this information and create your own coding. Have a great day.